Can I get you an apple, Ma?
An apple?
You want an apple?
Oh, apple. That tastes good.
I just talked for that whole time
I know.
without it even going live. So nobody but you heard that whole talk. How did I do, Ma?
You did very well. You're a good speaker. Mom.
Oh my God. I can't. I don't know how long this talk is going to be because I hit go live, it goes blue, and then I bring the OBS window forward.
Uh-huh.
But if it doesn't go click, then it doesn't, and I didn't start the whole live. So I freaking just did that whole 40-minute talk, 50-minute talk, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And nobody heard it but you, Ma.
Well, you did well.
Well, that now we're gonna do take 2. That was the dress rehearsal.
Oh, that was dress rehearsal? Okay, I'll be prepared.
You ready for the real talk, Ma?
The real talk.
You gonna go to sleep again?
No.
No? That's alright. I should have waited to start that, actually. I can't believe that.
I'll be prepared.
Stanley's asleep over here. I put him out.
He's sleeping? Oh.
Here's an apple. Benny's knocked out. Tucker's back there sawing logs.
Well, you're wiping everybody out.
Everybody's all Luda's over there. My words are like freaking are like
Look at Luna, Mom.
anesthesia. That's Benny, Mom. Luna's over there.
Oh, Luna's over there.
All right, so
Is she the one that's at the top? Oh, she's sleeping.
yeah, no,
Okay.
Stan Lee sleeps down there, Ma. He's over here.
Oh.
I'm trying to lighten my mood because ordinarily I get really pissed off when I do that. I was such a good talk.
You do. You are a good
It didn't go.
It didn't go?
No.
Well, you can try
All right, here we go.
picking your toes together.
All righty, here we go.
Okay.
Take 2.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to my tube again.
I love you.
My name is Marge again. I'm a Heyoka empath still.
Still.
I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things.
You're a good speaker.
Thanks, Ma. I can't believe I just did that. I need to get something water.
But you smile too. You really have a good smile, Marge. You
All right.
and you get this twinkle in your eye.
Thanks, Ma.
Hulu. That's what Hulu.
It's only like the 3rd time I've done that.
Well, you get me doing
But I've done it before, and I just be like, F it, I'm not doing a talk today. All right. Okay. So, interesting developments in the see, universe stuff happens, and I'm like, man, that's really kind of a trip. That's kind of a really kind of an interesting story.
Oh, the one that
The like I don't know, Mom. We're just like weird stuff happens in our proximity. You know, we don't live in Taos, New Mexico, because I looked on a map and said, hey, Mom, let's go there. No. We live here because ain't nobody else would let us live in a place between Taos, New Mexico and Salem, Oregon. But everybody loves a veteran. You know, everybody loves all these things, right? And I'm like, hey, I qualify for that. That's why I keep these trinkets. I don't care about any of this stuff, right? This is to show other people, you know, that think that they're really important because they have one. Maybe they'll think that I'm important because, hey, look, I got one too.
right.
Although on a bad day, if I ran out of toilet paper, I would have no problem using that.
Toilet paper?
Yeah. My college degree. You know?
Moving on, Marge.
And I just found a bunch of uniforms, so after I ran out of that TP, I could just use those old uniforms. Anyway, the ways that they had me believe that it was about truth and justice and, taking care of people, and then it was their behavior that verified that that's not the truth. And I started seeing it when Katrina happened. When Hurricane Katrina happened and the levees broke and all of those Americans got freaking washed away, and it took days. I was in the military and I'm like, why is this fucktard sitting on help to send people in? The guy who was the president, Obama. Yeah, he's a bottom. Between he and his husband, wife, whatever. So I couldn't understand it, and then there was something happened in Haiti, an earthquake, and he went right in and freaking went and brought in all this aid, and I was like, what? There's I gotta pay attention to this, right? And then as time because see, if you go places where there's no communications, you can take people and do whatever you want with them, and nobody will know, because then they'll say, oh, they must have just got washed out at sea. And then they do all their weird stuff. You think, because how the storylines exist, man. People like doing gross, weird, nasty, dirty things. And then they instead of freaking not acting that way, curbing their behavior, man, I know that to do that is wrong. They don't do that. They just create a whole world and a whole environment where they can act like them pervy selves without the consequence. But when you take the essence of a human being, there is hell to pay. And there's a lot of essence that has been taken.
They start getting in fights.
Oh, worse than that, Ma. Way worse than that. So I don't want to lose my train of thought. And that's what we're seeing is a whole society, a whole world that is created to protect. But see, the greedy, it's like that movie, The Fifth Element, the darkness in that movie, the nothing on the net. It's the same principles. It's that ego that grows and it shuts all the light out. And you are just so succumb that you might as well just keep the trajectory that you're going, because no God would ever forgive all of those heinous things that they've ever done. And then so they just keep doing it. And then the rest of us get to live in that world. And I wonder what the world would be if people were valued over money. But they're not, because they're not. I mean, how many people are up in arms because of that situation with the train derailment? Up in Ohio with all the toxins and all this stuff, all the harm to come from that, and then our dipshit freaking chief of staff or what? He's not my. None of them are my. I don't look at those people for nothing, man. I don't do nothing those people do. I don't go around wearing $10,000 suits, while freaking the freaking border is purging. But they want those unaccounted people to do with them whatever they want. You think vitamin D is good? No, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they like to do all kinds of weird stuff to people. Gross people do weird, gross things. Yeah. And how do I know? I live from experience. My hip pops. And I was never upset that day I read the police report when I was in junior high, 13 years old. I'm like, why does mom have this? It's talking about a baby getting penetrated. Baby rape. It's talking at what? And now I was like, oh shit, this baby is me.
Wow.
Nobody ever told me. Isn't that a weird secret to find out? Because Mom kept the police report, and I found it in the closet. But the thing of it is see, because Mom always said the truth come out, so why wouldn't she have just told me? Because she didn't know when. You know, how do you tell, somebody something like that? But I wasn't ever mad. I wasn't, I'm a victim. I was never nothing like that. I was like, that's why my hip pops. Because when we were PE, they do that exercise where you'd have to do the bicycle. I do the bicycle and go pop, pop. I'm like, why does that do that? I never hurt myself that I can. And I remember I got early, like back to 2 years old when I put a fishing hook through my tongue. I mean, I got memory, from past lives, and I got recall. It's in me. I'm just, I remember that now. So, I don't remember the incident, but I mean, my body remembers that trauma. And so my whole life, or ever since I was in junior high, man, and I was witness to Mom getting raped in the kitchen, and I wanted to get up and help her. And my brother grabbed my arm and said, no, just sit there. And I'm like, no, and he's like, just go act like you're sleepy, I got that hero, Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer, all that, I healed my shit, and I'm trying to help other people freaking heal theirs, so before freaking society dissolves to a point that everybody's gonna have to heal from something. Why do we gotta get that far, man? Why do we got? So anyway, before I talk another 40 minutes, I'm gonna talk a story about my time in jail. Back in 2000, it was after Grandpa died. So it was like 2000 or 1997 or something like that. I got my first DUI. I liked a girl, and we went out, and she was an older woman. She was like 31. I was early 20s, and we worked together at Lions Restaurant in Sacramento, California, and I was her guinea pig phase as far as bisexuality or anything like that. So, and I'm such a prude. I am a prude. I am very old fashioned. I ain't into the fuck it and chuck it type scenario ever. I had one night stand. I didn't like how it felt, so I ain't never done it again. And besides, I am for one woman and one woman only. I just haven't ever met her yet. So I don't want to, if I do in this incarnation meet the one for me, my penguin, lobster, whatever, I don't want to have to explain to her how I acted before while I was waiting for her. So I'm a little bit of a prude. It's just for one person, and then I'm not. But so people are really starting to see the ugly side of humanity now. They are. Oh, yeah. The song shifted, so my train of thought. So funny. Okay. I started talking about my time in jail. So we went out one night, and she had already gotten a DUI, and I was like, okay, well, I'll drive, because I've never been in trouble. So if I get in trouble, it's my first time. I won't get in as much trouble as you would if you got in your second DUI. So, and then I got one. And I was like in a holding tank, and I had my roommate, Mike. He was the one that, he was in Operation Desert Storm.
With you?
No, he was something different. He was that was like the first bullshit, desert operation of us going over and killing people in places we had no business being in. He was like the first way, see, like the guys that went to Vietnam, they were so disgusted by a lot of their stuff that they did, and that they liked it, that they had to look at who they were, because a lot of them were just like, they gave them drugs, and then they just went crazy, So they just like came back and never talked about it. And I feel like Desert Storm was like the first where they came back and it's like, it's really all bullshit, but nobody's hearing them. And then I come along, it's really all bullshit. Yeah. And then more and more people are starting to talk about how it is all money, and how, it's a sin to kill people. So of course our freaking infrastructure is going to start dissolving. It's just, of course it is. How would people not, I mean, America has been bullying this freaking planet for so long, since it became America. Tried killing off all my ancestors, I always been leery about those people that sit on a hill looking down at people, acting like, they're up here and people are down here. No. DA activation, DNA activation. Look out. Wah, wah. So I went to jail that night, and I had my roommate Michael, his shoes on, and they were like, big man shoes. And they took my shoelaces, so I'm like clomping around in this. And I wasn't in a cell; it was like a room. The chip. See, that's the thing is like, I just totally comply, and then in my head, I'm totally talking shit to these people, right? But you gotta comply, because she was so rude and mean, and she was just, because she was jealous, because I was this cute little baby dyke or whatever, they got this little lesbian, and she wasn't. So people get jealous, and then they're mad at you for what they're not. It's so bizarre. Anyway, so I was only in there for a few hours. Then there was a number of years that I went to... For 7 years, I spent Friday nights going to Pottawatomie County Jail in Council Bluffs, Tucky. That's what they call it, the locals. Council Bluffs, Iowa. And Phyllis would escort us up. She'd take us up, me and one other person. And then there was the guys that went on two guys that went on the guy's side of the jail, and then two girls. And I did that for majority of Friday nights, pretty dedicated. That's what I did from like 7 to 8. And then I'd race down to Bellevue to meet some other friends. Wow. Bill W., and then do celebrate. Whoopee! I don't gotta live that way anymore. And that was my Friday nights for years. So, but one of the things that I got to do when I did that is these women. They would a lot of these women were the Hispanic women that would come up here because their lives were here. And then, because somebody said someplace, oh, you got to have a paper that says that it's a piece of paper that says that, you can have a life here when they already have a life here. And it's just, to them, it's stupid. To me, it's stupid. But to the people that want you to have the paper, it's, it puts more paper, which is money, in the bank so that they have power and control and tell you that you need a piece of paper to live in a place. And so they would tell me stories about how I did it 7 years, so I saw a lot of these women come back. They'd get out of jail and then they'd come back. The whole repeat offender thing, because sometimes it's just, dude, more people. It's getting nutty out there. So many people are just like, you know what, 3 hots on a cot. I'm good. I'll just stay in the house cow. I'll just stay in the jail. It's cool. And so people, that's what they do. They opt out. They just opt out of mainstream society and give up and just live that life. So I got Tupac going on in my ear right now. Tupac. So a couple of these women would come back about why you come back, because we live here, this is our life. And they deport them to Mexico. And this is the part that is hilarious to me. That there were 2 occasions, I know it for sure, maybe 3, but it's getting kind of, a little blurry. Occasions that they would fly these women down, and they would be the only person on the plane. No kidding. To deport them back to the only person on the. So they take woo, and then they designate billions of dollars to do and they it's the most absurd thing, and I'm getting these stories directly from these women that are in jail, And that motivates you when you go to jail, when you can go to jail and you hear these women talk about the things that they do, and that not the things that they do different so they don't have the same outcome. And then I go in there and I tell them, you don't have to live the way you've always lived to get what you've always done. You can live a different way. I'm here to show you that you can. Because I live like you. And thanks, Ma. And so, and for, and that's why I continue to do today, is try to just you can live that way. And I'll help people. And then I'll see them later, and I'll see, or if they're in better standing than they were the last time I helped them, or are they doing the same? Because if they're doing the same thing, and then I see them a year later and they're still doing the same things, then they're choosing to do what they want to do. Then what they're doing is a decision. They're not using things to get themselves in a better way. They're just doing whatever they can to stay in the same place. And I'm good luck for you. That's nice for you. I'm looking for something a little bit different in this incarnation. Yeah. So, interesting story. I tell that story about my DUI because it happened on February 22nd, 96, 97, I think. And then I'm going to bed last night. I turn off technologies. And I come across this story. And I see this picture and I was like, oh my God, I know that face. I recognize that face. Right? I'm just going to read a little bit. I hate when people read online. I try not to read too much. All right. On the afternoon of February 20th, 2023, TCSO, that's Taos County Sheriff's Office deputies, responded to a call of a shooting on West Romero Road in Taos County. The victim and witness identified the offender as Joey Mears of Taos area, and deputies believed that he had fled the scene in a maroon Nissan. Within minutes, Sheriff Steve Miera located the vehicle in the Miranda Canyon area and initiated a pursuit. He did recognize the driver as Joey Mears, a recent parolee from New Mexico Department of Corrections. The pursuit terminated when Mears went into an arroyo. He did not get his Miranda rights read in Miranda Canyon. Fled on foot. Other deputies arrived and initiated a ground search in the area and utilized a drone to locate them. We buy them all these little toys and gadgets and make sure they got all the latest and greatest, and they just really still just don't quite get the job done. Unless... a search warrant was later executed at the residence where the shooting occurred, and certain evidence was collected from the scene. Based on probable cause, an arrest warrant has been issued for Joey Mears, charging aggravated battery from a deadly weapon, felon in possession of a firearm, and other felony charges. The victim was shot in the leg, and the wound is not life-threatening. Joey Mears is 27 years old, not according to his booking photo. But that's just how it is, you know? Information is tricky, whether it's true or not. Anyway. Has multiple visible... Okay, this is when they put it out. Here's a picture of the kid.
Is he small?
Yeah, he's real tiny. They don't make real big people here in New Mexico. All right. So, and then there was an update. In coordination with, the STI, he was captured in Albuquerque last night.
Oh, that's nice.
He was also picked up new firearms and dope charges. Now, the reason why, it's just another story on social media, but it's like, oh my God, I know that guy. I only lived here 2 years of my life. Here's the thing. I live in Taos because that kid went to jail, and me and Mom had to move from where we lived because he was getting out of jail. He got out of jail December 6th, 2022, last year. 3 months he wasn't even out. 3 months. This is what I'm talking about. You know, it's like I see all these generations, all these different personalities. It's like, you know, all these backgrounds, all these colors, all these people with economic backgrounds, and they're doing the same thing. They're having kids, right? They're having kids. And then some of these kids have parents. I thank God I had the mom I had. She wanted me to learn early the lessons in life and how to treat people. She wanted me to learn early the importance of God and knowing that there's something out there that isn't going to drop you on your ass and that there will be hard times. But sometimes you'll get a piggyback ride and get to leave footprints on the sand. I'm pointing back here because I have a little thing next to my warrior's prayer. Maybe I'll read that at the end of the day, footprints. Luna chewed up my other one, then Mom had like 4 or 5 of them. Anyway. But Mom engaged with, and she had people that guided her. She took like an early childhood development class and stuff like that, I mean, so it's just like she and did you know I was different than other kids when I was little, Ma?
No.
You didn't know you just thought all the kids were like me? Like climbing trees and when I was 2?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff? Or 3?
Few at a time.
Yeah.
It wasn't all at once.
Yeah. All right. So, I'll read this. Thank you, Mom, for your input. I didn't mean to be dismissive there. I feel like I was being dismissive, and that's not what I was trying to do. So, there's only 2.5 million people in all of New Mexico. And you got a lot of tourists that come here and I call them people zoo. They like to come in here and they like to see what people are how they're living, and then go back to how they live. And then they like to go visit someplace else to watch people live, how they live. All the while, where they live originally, there's people that don't got no place to live.
They don't have any.
Yeah, but they're so busy going around watching how other people are living. Why don't you help somebody get a roof over their head where you live? Why doesn't this stuff exist? Because we don't live on a world where people are valued over money. We live on a world where money is valued over people. And people are the containers of the spirit. The spirit that connects to God's source, That little chime, do the right thing, don't be a dick. That little, that's that little connection. People have lost that connection with their diet, with all the shit that they eat, I've been disconnected. God never left me. There were years, about 13 of them, I left God. I said, you know what? Thanks, God. I got this. I'm going to take everything I learned. I'm going to go out and do what I want. And I'm going to direct and I'm going to leave my life with my ego, which to me, as I understand it, stands for easing God out. I'm going to take the reins and direct my life and do everything I want to do and F everybody else. And it doesn't matter if I hurt anybody's feelings. Their feelings are their responsibility. Huh. All that spiritual bypassing crap that I hear day in and day out, Hey, spirit doesn't mean that people aren't living from ego. It means that they're aware of a connection to a spiritual, etheric realm world which exists on our planet, that they're tuned in. It's what they do with the knowledge that they learn from being tapped in. Mostly people are just hogs and do everything for themselves. It amazes me how little generosity I see in the spiritual New Age community. But I knew it. I knew it was coming because I see potentials and patterns. All these people keep talking about how if I ever had so much, what I would do to help people. And then you see all these people that have gotten so much in the last couple years, and then they forgot that part about what they would do when they forgot. See, they asked for so much, and then God gives it to them, and then they forgot to do their part. And then they start, okay, well, I got this, God, thanks, I'm going to ease you out. And I'll just, and then they do whatever they want, they eat whatever they want, they drink whatever they want, they consume, and they don't think about nobody else to the point of where we are now. It's greedy and gross. Oh, don't cry. Dude, I look at past, present, future as just like things that, like, it doesn't impact my life in my world today, except for the fact that I want other people to know that when you've had shitty things like this happen to you, that you don't gotta let it take your life. You don't gotta let it, ruin your whole life. It's one human. Everybody's talk about everybody healing. People aren't going to be able to heal, and that's one thing I have learned in certain circles is I felt better knowing when somebody else has gone through something that I can relate to. Like, hey, I know that pain because I've gone through that situation and that hurt my heart, so I can understand how your heart hurts. That's where the healing begins. But the whole world is just ignoring all the grossness that their friends and buddies and bros, because you get to go on the yacht, you just keep your mouth closed and what you see, it'll just happen because you were drunk. I mean, all that stuff, it ain't good enough reasons. And Mom taught me from when I was a little young age about emotional control. And then if I don't learn how to control my emotions, because I'm a tantrum, I could still be a tantrum thrower. But the thing of it is when I was growing up, so many things would break around me. Like, I get mad. I get so mad. Like, I get so much in me. I would just need to just to release it. The tension. The clash. So I used to break things because it would break the tension in me. And I bet there's a lot of really peculiar kids out there. So we got to give them means and reasons to break their tension without being destructive and teaching them that that's the way. Getting quiet? How different would this planet be if adults taught the youth, taught their young ones, taught the children by their example on how to meditate and find peace within? Do people even try? What if they did? What happened if they would? It's just easier to sit on the couch, keep watching that show, keep doing what you're doing, keep getting what you got. See, that's all well and good. It's been all well and good for a while. I'm not tolerating and putting up with the freaking byproduct because people gave up on themselves, because I didn't. So maybe it's just best that so many people just sit down and watch. Let us tried and true that have been, searching, fallen, just striding to live and be guided towards the light, because I know what the dark is. And there's too many people on this planet that are just ignoring the thing. Oh my God, they're weird because some adult did something freaking weird to them. No, I'm weird because there's so many adults that do that, and I can walk by one in a grocery store and know what they are. And other people can do this too. But it's too woo-woo. Everything's woo-woo, folks. Everything is woo-woo, folks. It's all woo-woo. And then I hear like the readers, the astrologers talking about, like minimizing woo-woo. You're just like more of the same. More of the same. It's all woo-woo. The things that I've seen happen in my life are the things that the majority of the population, and it's just not even the things that have happened directly to me, but they're also the things that have happened to people because like attracts like. And whether I like it or not, I'm in a demographic, I'm in a club that nobody wants to be in. I'm a part of society. Nobody wants to hear from the baby that got raped at 10 months old. Because nobody wants to believe that exists. Yet think about how many people profit on this planet from that entire system. It's all over the media. It's all over. For example, "28 children rescued, 59 adults arrested in massive DFW child porn investigation." In the same place that the Super Bowl was? Really? so weird. So bizarre. I don't even know when the Super Bowl was. This was evidently on February 17th. Oh, Benny's having a dream. You know? I mean, it's all this you can't have that stuff without having that stuff. And I just assume see that stuff. I see it all go away. I don't care. I don't live on a world where that stuff exists. It is bizarre how kids on the street all over the place don't know how to do nothing. Their parents are junkies, drunks, all of it. They got the fucking all of that stuff. Nobody cares. They're out on the street. They don't got places to go to keep them from the predators. There are the systems that people pay themselves to put in place to help them. They didn't do what they got paid for. Right? And then you got all these, you got billions. It's $1 billion in the professional sports, and it's all bullshit. It's all reindeer games. And that's what people want. People want to live a lie because they don't want to see the truth, even though they're the ones that are perpetuating the lie. Because they don't want to lose all the things that you get. They want all this stuff, and then they want to tell you that they're spiritual beings, and it's a lie. More lies. So, I thought about a couple of things that I thought of today that were kind of, I don't know, poignant, and I was like, hey, Mom, what do you think about this? And I read them to her. She's like, I like it, and I read them to her. So here's one. My power of restraint needed to become more of a focus than my desire for my power to be seen. That's taken me a long time to learn. And I hope I don't forget, because I forget stuff a lot. Because I start thinking about too much stuff, and then I drop other stuff. And I hope that's something that sticks. You know, it's water, it's Pisces, and I'm like, man, because I hate taking showers in the morning, but I've just had, it's been since Pisces season started that I've had the burning desires to take really hot showers in the morning, and I hate it. Well, I don't have to go nowhere, but like the idea of like having to get wet, my hair wet, because when I lived in Omaha, man, I learned about my hair freezing and then breaking off. So it's just, and it's not that cold here today, but I don't like it's something about resetting my energetic field, you know. And I was listening to Robert Phoenix this morning. He was talking about how there's no earth in the day to day. There's no that grounding energy, and I'm like, dude, that's every day for me. That's my chart I don't got earth, so I got to work harder to freaking ground myself. I'm just great. I appreciate, I'm so much gratitude that God put us in a place that is peaceful, it's quiet, and, you know, He's delivering us from evil, you know. Of course, I don't invite the trespassers in either. So I don't go to places to find the trespassings, you know. Have a good day, Kev, man. Anyway, so I think I said everything I wanted to say. I got all kinds of ideas on how to, you know, and it's not, don't stop trying to make programs that like this kid that like just went to jail. If there was a place that he could go to, like freaking, because his dad was in automotive, he was an auto body, right? If he could have had a place like that, he could have just, you know, got his own, and just started, because Lord knows the need. It's winter, people are wrecking, the roads are ice all over the place, people are getting wrecks, the need is there, the demand is there. Give the kid, you know, an opportunity to do that. Let them do stuff that they want to do, so they don't get bored and keep doing crap that they shouldn't be doing. Seems simple to me. I just keep putting the words out there, and if anything that I say lands, I just put my intentions out there. If this is, you know, thy will not mine be done, I just get the ideas, and then I put them out there, and they're supposed to fly, they'll land. They're supposed to land, they'll fly. That's what I got for now. Hope you have a right day. Peace.